I'm Guy Wilmshurst-Smith and I'm the head of Network Rail Training. Working with Reference Point and the Sentinel team, we wanted to create a system that was incredibly easy for people to use, where people could simply and safely swipe onto the infrastructure, the 20,000 miles of railway infrastructure, in a way that could authenticate the level of competence they had, whether they had a medical check and whether they'd been checked for drugs and alcohol. One swipe and people could access real live data there and then and have something that was extremely reliable. What we didn't expect was the way in which it would grow and transform relationships around the rail industry. So, as you would probably know, Network Rail and London Underground are the two biggest sort of rail businesses. And actually, we've come together on Sentinel because they've looked at the system, realised it's good. And we also realised that we share a lot of railway workers. And they often work on their system and our system. And by using the live data in Sentinel, we've been able to prevent the double shifting of people between London Underground and Network Rail. So that's 20,000 people that could, I'm not saying they do regularly, but they could work nights in one business and days in the other. By us sharing the common data and using it to check people as they access the infrastructure, we can prevent that aspect of safety. Previously, people would have a whole series of sort of credit card sized bits of plastic that would printed off against them, often with a sort of holographic thing, very much like you see in a credit card. And they'd have a cluster of these, and they were supposed to show them to say they were current on the railway. We found that less than 2% of people were actually verifying their credentials before accessing the infrastructure. About as useful as an age check before entering a nightclub. Okay. What we now find is that because it's simple and it's accurate and it's reliable, that we are preventing around about 600 to 700 people every 4 weeks from accessing the infrastructure because of some issue around their competence, their medical checks and their drugs and alcohol. That is a massive number of people, and the number of incidences that it may well have prevented, I think, is quite significant. I think the other fact for me is that because we've continued to mature and develop the system, that 38,000 people now use it to record their competence usage on a day-to-day basis. And no one knows, because you can't test a negative, exactly how many incidences that's prevented. But we've certainly, since we've introduced the system, never come across an incident where things like drug and alcohol were a cause.